to and the law get in your way. Or church tradition get in your way. You didn't let none of that stop you, but you heard you heard the word, you believe in word, you have faith in the word, and you moved and you kept your focus on the promise, good God Almighty, and not the problem. Because you kept saying to yourself, if only I could touch the hem of his garment. I'm not going to worry about the issue of blood, but if I can just get to the hem of his garment, if I could just focus on the promise, and Jesus was and is and still is the promise, but if you would just focus on the promise and not the problem. And she said, I shall be made well. So, this is amazing. So Jesus is walking. The crowd, disciples, the multitude, she touches him. He immediately turns. Somebody to touch me. And he finds out who it is and tell her, it's your faith that made you well. It's your faith that did this. Now, not only that, verse 35. And while he was still speaking, some came from the ruler of the synagogue house who said, watch this, your daughter is dead. Why trouble the teacher any further? And as soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he said to the ruler of the synagogue, don't be afraid, only believe. Don't let negativity, negative words, negative comments, don't let anything make you waver in your faith. Because you said in verse 21 that if I come and lay my hands on her, that she may be healed and she will live. So your faith is okay. Your faith is intact. But then here comes the devil, which he always do. He works through people. And here come, these people with bad news. You know how people are. Somebody always got some bad news for you. And they came by and said, the ruler of the synagogue house said, your daughter is dead. I mean, they just put a nail in the coffin. And so Jesus' response was, don't let that affect your faith. Because when you develop an unwavering faith, I will do the supernatural. I will perform supernatural things in your life. I'll shut doors that no man can open. I'll open doors that no man can shut. When you stand in an unwavering faith, you call those things that God calls that are not as though they were. And he says, soon as he heard it, he says he says to him, do not be afraid, only believe. In other words, don't let anything make you waver in your faith. When you first came to me and asked me, you were strong. You said, hey, lay your hands on her. She may be healed and she will live. Come on to my house. So you were strong, you were sure. What he's trying to say is remain in that. Don't let your faith waver. That's what Jesus is saying. Don't let your faith waver. And so, in verse 37, and he permitted no one to follow him except Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. And then he came to the house of the ruler of the synagogue and saw a tumult and those who wept and wailed loudly. And he came in and said to them, why make this commotion and weep? The child is not dead, but she's sleeping. Watch this. And they ridiculed him. Look at this. But when he had put them all outside, don't miss this. Jesus had to, first of all, some of them couldn't go because just too much unbelief. I only want to permit Peter, James, and John to come. All y'all go back to where you came from. Women with the issue, you go where you was at. All the rest of the multitude, you go where you at. Then he got to another place, and Jesus get into another situation where it is, I'm sorry. Where there is opposition at. Verse 40. And they ridiculed Jesus. He said, the child ain't dead. She's only sleeping. But what he do? But when he put him out. See, some of these folk, you need to just put out. Everything ain't for everybody because the devil will use whoever he can and whoever is available to try and make you waver in your faith. Try to make you doubt his ability. Try to undo or try to make you God. And Jesus came in, and when they ridiculed him, Jesus says, okay, get out. Don't be afraid to put nobody out. Be like Martin, get to stepping. Put them out. Why? Because they're trying to mess with your faith. And to go through what you're about to go through, and to achieve what you're about to achieve, you're going to need an unwavering faith. Some of you are on the precipice of opening up a business, or some of you are on the precipice of getting a new career, or even buying a house. Don't you let anybody come into your world with a bunch of nonsense. No, put them jokers out. Put them out. If you can't speak life into my life, put them out. If only thing you could tell them is how wrong I am and what's not going right, and put me down and ridicule me instead of encouraging me and telling me that you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you, that you can start that business, that you can go ahead and move forward, that you can do better than what you're doing. And I'm going to help pray you through this situation. Now, if you ain't got them kind of folk around you, follow your master, follow your leader, follow the example of Jesus, and put them jokers out. So he put him outside, and he took the father and the mother of the child who was with him, and he entered where the child was lying. And then he took the child by the hand and said to her, Talitha cumi, which is translated, little girl, I say to you, arise. Now I'm going to say something. Some of you might get offended. I'm going to say it anyway. Jesus began to speak in tongues and in the spirit. Because we don't know what that means. That's why he said, which is translated. And the Bible said that if someone speaks in a tongue in a setting, then there should be someone there to translate. Oh, good God Almighty. Some people say, did Jesus speak in tongues? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And they translated it for us. They translated it for us. And Jesus began to speak in his language, which is translated, little girl, I say to you, arise. And immediately the girl arose and walked, for she was 12 years of age. And they were overcome with great amazement. But he commanded them strictly that no one should know it, and that something should be given to her to eat. So we see here another case where faith, unwavering faith, is of vital importance for you to allow the manifestations of the grace of God to manifest in your life. It's not going to manifest without an unwavering faith. You can't believe God for some things. You got to believe God for everything. You got to trust in the promise more than you do the problem. And remember, what get Jesus' attention? What turned him around? Is faith. He's going one way where there's faith. Jairus is showing faith, so he's going to war with Jairus. The woman in the blood touched him with faith, so he turns that way. After he deals with that, he turns back again. And I wondered, what and who is controlling Jesus? And I found out it's unwavering faith that moves him. It's unwavering faith that sent him this way. Come heal my daughter. It's unwavering faith that made me turn around to deal with the women issue of blood. It's unwavering faith that made me turn back, to go back and continue where he was going. Faith is the key. Unwavering faith. Developing an unwavering faith. A faith that doesn't waver. A faith that stands strong in the midst of strong winds, in the midst of hurricane. A faith that doesn't give up. A faith that doesn't quit. And a faith that is built on the promises, not the problem, the promises. The promises. Father God, Lord, we thank you for a faith that does not waver.